Hello and welcome to the Open Ike Show, where we open up about open mics. I'm your host, Isaac Heiner. Our guest this week is none other than Dave Stoltz, a multidisciplinary performer, a writer, a scratch golfer, and a damn good chef. Dave, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you for the nice things to say about my golf game.
I only speak the truth, right? So
Yeah.
you're the one making the game good, and then I'm just telling the people. Our opening question every week, it's a doozy. What do LA open mics mean to you?
So I originally started doing mics when I was in New York. And I feel like I never felt a part of it. It kind of felt like every man for themselves in a way. And not saying that LA doesn't have that, but it wasn't until I came to LA that I felt community.
Do you think it's New York in general, or that was a product of the mics you were going to, or maybe your own skill set and material at the time?
Right. So I think in general, the culture of New York is every man for themselves. And the culture of stand-up comedy is every man for themselves. Yeah. So when those two are together, it just. But LA, the culture is community, and the culture is you need to work with people to get things done. And you feel it immediately once you step down in the first open mic that you will do here. Yeah. And people stay longer after. Right. Another thing with New York is you want to get numbers, so you want to get 5 mics a night, right? LA, it's quality. You want to have a really good mic with good people, and you learn more after the mic or before the mic than maybe your time on it.
Right. That's so interesting. So in New York, I was thinking of something when you were saying that. We have a really good editor. So these moments.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like. Okay. All right. So in New York, were you doing just open mics, or were you doing some like classes? Because a lot of the community that I found in the mics I was doing in New York kind of came from the first class I did.
Right. So in New York, I did a lot of writing classes. I did stuff at UCB. And it wasn't until kind of the tail end of my New York experience that I started taking performance classes. I actually had really bad stage fright. And I think that was a big part too with New York was I never really felt comfortable in my own body. So it was hard for me to be vulnerable on stage and kind of do the work that needs to be done to make my comedy,
right?
I don't know, me?
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Can you describe your comedy a little?
Yeah. So it's ever evolving. I think back in New York, I was much more of a joke guy. Now I'm doing primarily what is now known as modern clowning.
Okay.
And it's much more physical than stand-up comedy.
Yeah. And
not as reliant as on jokes.
Right. And so I've seen you do a sketch here in LA. I've never seen you do stand-up.
Right.
So I'm curious kind of how much of like the sketch and the character work in sketch, like maybe that's what you're talking about, modern clowning, maybe not, but does that come up when you're doing like a stand-up open mic? Is it more sketch or character, material? Like how are you using the open mics, I guess?
Yeah, so right now I'm trying to build my one-man show. Okay. And I got to do it piece by piece. And the only way that I can do that is bringing it up at open mics.
Yeah.
So it is sketch, it's character, it's stand-up, it's clown, there's like music, it's everything. So it's hard to, like, I don't want to put myself into a certain box.
Right.
I'm just trying to create this thing that's inside of me and sharing it with people, not to be like overly pretentious, but it's the dumb ideas that I have in my head that I'm laughing at. And I want to be like, isn't this fun? Right. Can I share this joy with the audience?
So the through line is you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's me being vulnerable and opening up, and it's a big response to that guy who was afraid to get on stage. It's me just like allowing myself to fail.
Sure.
And accepting failure and And that's the big part of the clowning is it's using failure, because failure will then bring out a side of you or a vulnerability in you that you can't like manufacture. You can't just be like, oh, I have this great idea or whatever. Like when you get pushed against the wall is when you find the most brilliant things.
Right. And so you're saying in the moment that the failure leads to on stage a bigger laugh or something like that? Or are you saying it gives you more fodder for future writing sessions?
Right. So it's both. It's acknowledging the failure. If you're failing, an audience loves to see you say, damn, I'm failing.
Mhm.
I think about Conan O'Brien.
Sure.
He's one of the best at that.
Yeah.
I think about like his old monologues. If his joke didn't hit, he is addressing it.
Yeah.
He doesn't move on to the next joke.
Right.
He plays in that space and he is taking care of the audience because he's acknowledging how they're feeling.
Right.
And I think so much like comedy, it can fall into this place where you don't care about what's in front of you. But ultimately it's for them.
Yeah.
You know, they are paying money. People are getting babysitters. There's not a lot of time in the day.
Yeah.
And they're choosing to come see a show. And it's so important to care about who's there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting because what Conan does, and kind of what you're saying, you know, the goal is or something, is to address the failure. It's not really self-deprecating so much, right? It's really more of just acknowledging what's happening, right?
Right. I think it is acknowledging, and it also is self-deprecating. But by being self-deprecating, you take that pressure off of you.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like that's when being able to make fun of yourself is one of the easiest ways to get people to like you.
Yeah, sure.
You know, because they see it.
Yeah.
They see your flaws. They see your shadow.
It has to be authentic, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've seen it when it's bad, when people are like, oh, what an idiot, you know. It doesn't work. It's based off of vulnerability.
Right.
And you see there's like a shift in people. They take off their mask.
Yep.
And they reveal who they really are. And it's a relief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're working on this one-man show.
Yeah.
Is kind of probably officially you're like solo writing it, but are you working with any partners, any writing partners or content?
Yeah, so right now I am writing it myself, but I'm working with a bunch of different people in my space. I worked with Aitor Basari, who is like a really amazing clown teacher, Dr. Brown, Corey Podell I worked with, a bunch of amazing people in the clown space, and they help me guide me where I need to go. But I'll come and bring something, and they'll be like, ding, 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 you're getting there.
Right. And just, I mean, so you said modern clowning, and when people hear the word clown, I mean, I don't believe you're doing like the face paint and the honky nose. Yeah, right?
No. There are people who paint their face,
yeah.
Sure, but it's more about a relationship with the audience. And with clown, there's no fourth wall.
Right.
The audience, we're aware of the audience.
Yeah.
And that's a part of it, taking care of the audience. And it's interesting because I do improv and I'm trained at the Groundlings and I do stuff there. And you're not allowed to look at the audience.
Right.
You just focus on your scene partner.
Yeah.
And, you know, it really does make the best improv scene. But with clown, you know, you're turned and you're looking right at the reactions. You're paying attention to whatever you're looking at, you know, or whatever people are seeing, and you're improvising with the audience in a way. So you're not playing off your scene partner, you're playing off of them.
So, okay, here's a question, because like crowd work sort of has a negative connotation in stand-up these days with social media clips and stuff like that. It's different, right? You're not going into the audience to pull out kind of prompts or you know, it's not, where are you from, what do you do?
Right. It could be that.
Okay.
And that's, I think, with clown, it's just kind of a big cloud.
Right.
Maybe Adam Sandler is a clown. Conan O'Brien's a clown. Chris Farley's a clown. All these people, maybe not have trained in clown, but they are clowns.
I get it.
Maybe the most famous is Sacha Baron Cohen, who actually trained in clown.
What a freaking genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he trained in that, and I was just reading. There's this book, and it was talking about him on The Dictator.
Right.
And apparently he brought in his clown professor to help him figure out his character and how to walk. A guy named Felipe Gallier.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's the legend, Gallier.
I love the work that like the real artists really do the work and kind of conceive and practice. It's really a beautiful thing.
It's not luck. It's not just like it just happens.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's an iceberg. There's so much work that you put into it, and it's you're going to the gym and you're working on these muscles.
Yeah.
And it is so much harder to do an open mic or work in a class or a workshop than it is to do in front of an audience.
Right.
Because when you're in a class or you're in a workshop in an open mic, they all know the tricks.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing math while you're doing it.
Yeah.
You're with an audience, you can take them somewhere. They can escape. They're not paying attention to how the sausage is made.
Sure.
They're just present in the work. So that's where it's like you're building these muscles, and it's like when you're playing baseball and you have the donut on your bat. It's just the bat is heavier when you're working at an open mic. But once you get up on stage in front of that audience, it feels like you can take off.
I do struggle with that a bit, like the immediate reaction of a room of comedians versus a room of audience members and how they're laughing at different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I find, since the mics I'm doing in New York, a decent portion of them are kind of, I'm playing to the back of the room,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm doing bits that I know are funny, I know I love the material and I want to be doing them, but you know, whether it's too inside baseball or, you know, kind of like too clever for my own good, I'm kind of noticing when I'm doing that. And so do you kind of cater your material differently, or when you're at the mics, is it really just about kind of the rehearsal? Are you gauging reactions knowing full well that they're reacting different from an audience?
Yes, I'm aware. My clown teacher, Dr. Brown, actually, I talked to him about this recently because it's hard doing the same set over and over again, over and over again. And he challenged me to go to hostile environments.
Yeah.
Because there are certain mics that are friendlier and more engaging, but you want the audience who's not engaged. Yeah. You want that because if you can get them, then you got something.
Right.
And that's where it's like, I think about it, I think maybe when I first started, I was angry at the audience.
Right.
Like, why aren't you paying attention? When you were up, I was listening to you. I was laughing at you. Oh, you're not going to laugh at me? Once you get up, I'm not going to laugh at you. Like, that is a natural feeling. But now, all that attention or that energy I put towards myself, like, I can control it more. If they're not laughing, it's not because they're not paying attention. It's because my shit's not good enough.
Right. Right.
And I feel like that's where it's like, it's all about reframing that part of it, and because you can't control how they're going to respond.
Right.
Like you said, every room's going to be different. You'll never have the same response. But you go to, this is something that Dr. Brown talked to me about. If one night you accidentally pour water in your eye, then you do that the next night.
Yeah.
It's like you find out what works and you keep going with it, and then you keep building off of that.
Yeah. Cool. So when you know, people say it's, I've heard people say lots of different stuff, but one thing I've heard people say is that LA is like not a good place to start, right? That you kind of need to have something, you know, some people say you really want to be fully formed before you get to LA. Obviously you started in New York.
Yeah.
But I'm getting the sense a lot of kind of the training that you're talking about kind of happened after the move. So my idea is like when you got here, how formed were you? And did you find a sense that like it might have been more difficult or to kind of start here? Like how did...
I think for me, growing up, I grew up in like North Jersey, so I was like 20 minutes from the city and spent a lot of my life in the city. And I just had too much connections to home and too many comforts for me to become uncomfortable enough to grow.
Okay.
It's kind of like the movie Moana.
Yeah.
I had to like break away from that environment so I can take a jump off a cliff and see how I land.
Yeah.
Because there was a safety net for me back home. So it's hard for me to say with the scene, because geographically for me, I was protected by a lot of people I knew. But once I came here, I knew not as many people, and I had to put myself out there. And I took classes, I did mics, and I went to people after class who I liked, and I'm like, hey, I like you. Can we
Yeah.
get coffee?
Yeah.
So many people here are moving from somewhere else,
Right.
and they're all searching for community.
Yeah.
And you hear that thing that it's hard to meet people in LA, but I don't believe that. It's everyone is looking. It's hard to make that first step
Right.
because you don't want to be rejected, and I think that's a big part of that culture here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just LA. I was able to really take some more risks, and that's changed my. I did a complete 180 with who I was.
Right. There's, you know, I'm curious about kind of the perception of support versus competitiveness in LA. And I am fully aware that both exist here.
Yes.
Right. And it can come down to the person, the room, the discipline, whatever it is. So would you say that you're seeing, like, it sounds like you're getting a lot of support here. Is there kind of competition that you're seeing?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How so?
I mean, we're all competing with each other. It's. I'd be lying to say that I don't look at someone in my realm and I'm like, oh, they got that. Like, how do I get that?
Yeah.
But it's like a reframing thing. It's like, instead of being knocked down by it, I've learned how to be inspired by it. And just all boats rise with the tide. And by working with all these people who are getting things, instead of being competitive or salty about it, it's exciting.
Right.
You're like, wow, my friend is doing this. My friend is doing that. That person who I didn't think had it now has it.
Yeah.
But that comes with having taken years of therapy and antidepressants. So it's not like I don't know. That's kind of how I came to there. And it's the only way I can survive in it.
Yeah.
Because I've been in New York and I've been negative and I've been hard on myself and doubting myself, and it wasn't sustainable. I wasn't having fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I came here and found my people and kind of find that mindset that I've learned that I enjoy doing this.
Yeah. So you say you find your people. You know, I said earlier that I saw you in a sketch performance.
Yeah.
It's the T-shirt toss.
Yes.
How did you find those guys? What's the experience of kind of doing sketch comedy? And like one thing I'm curious about is like, what's the equivalent of open mics in the sketch world?
So that's hard. You know, there's certain mics that you can do and put up sketches, but since so many of them rely on tech,
right,
it's hard to just go and put up a sketch.
Yeah.
So the way our group came together, T-shirt Toss, we're a comedy collective, and it was started with friends that I met taking classes at the Groundlings.
Okay.
And for Groundlings, the way it works is you have to finish the improv track before you can start doing the sketch track.
Okay.
And my group and friends and I were ready to start doing sketch. We weren't ready for them to tell us that we can do sketch. We were ready for us to do it. And the way it started was I just booked a venue.
Yeah.
I had no idea what we were going to do or whatever. I booked a venue.
How far in advance?
It was maybe a month and a half. It wasn't
Decent time.
Yeah, it wasn't too much, but it was enough that it was like, let's go. We gotta get this going. And it was one of the most rewarding experience I've had being here. It's that if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
And you don't need to tell them. They don't need to tell you you can be there. Like, you can make your own sandbox.
Right.
And with sketch, that's where it's so hard to get reps up. But then we, as a collective, And as a group, we can then put SketchUps in front of each other,
Right.
and we all work together to punch things up, point out holes. So that's been a way for me to do that type of work.
Yeah.
And I don't. There's so many people who want to do it, and our group just gets bigger and bigger. So I don't think it's hard to find people
Right.
to say, "Hey, can you come watch the sketch I'm working on?"
Right. Right. One thing that kind of when it comes to finding stage time,
Yeah.
right? One question I always have is like, did you ever consider starting your own mic? And specific to the sketch, kind of that discipline and the technical difficulties, I think that a sketch specific mic could kind of have some attractive possibilities. Did you ever think about doing anything like that?
Yeah. So I was actually, I was offered to take over a sketch mic,
Okay.
and really, it just seemed like too much work for me.
Right.
It would have been a lot of work.
It's a whole different thing, and it can take away
Right.
from your own kind of writing and performing time for sure.
Right, because with a stand-up mic, you can just show up.
Yeah.
But with a sketch one, you kind of have to get people's ducks in order.
Yeah.
And more often than not, people are going to have some sort of tech cue.
Yeah.
You're going to need to know when to black out. So you have to have someone reading the script and following with you. And it just, because I had this group of people that we get to work together, it just didn't feel like the juice was worth the squeeze. But in a different world, before I found that group of people,
Yeah.
I would have definitely taken it.
Right. Right. So now, wouldn't the sketch groups kind of bring their own technical director to the
No.
mic?
No one wants to do tech.
I mean, you guys have, I assume.
We pay them.
Okay. Yeah.
When we do shows, we pay people to do tech.
Is it a consistent individual who's like part of the group, or is it?
It
whoever we can
depends.
get, right.
Prior working with someone that we've worked with and have a relationship, but certain theaters want their tech guys to be.
Sure, I get that.
So right now we've been doing shows at the Elysian, and we've been working with their tech, and they're amazing.
Yeah.
We get a tech rehearsal, and we iron out all those kinks, and kind of do tops and bottoms, which is the beginning of the sketch.
Gotcha.
We'll push to the next cue, and then the end of the sketch.
Right.
And that really gets it done.
Yeah.
There's plenty of mistakes.
Right.
And you'll go to the best sketch show and the tech will make mistakes. But it's also an opportunity. For us, we've all trained in improv.
Right.
So I honestly, I love when a sketch goes awry.
Right.
Because you're stuck in it, and you have to figure it out, sink or swim.
You can, as a stand-up, you can bail on a joke and go to the next one a lot easier than you can bail on a sketch and go to the next one. Yeah.
And also, commitment is, for me, one of the most important parts of comedy.
Yeah.
You have to commit. If you're going in lukewarm and just winking at the audience, they're not going to be on your side.
Yeah.
They want to see you really believe it, because that's the only way you can make the material transformative. And
Yeah. I think during the quiet points, whether it's like a joke didn't land or we're just kind of going through a serious beat right now, that commitment, it's kind of the only way to not let the quiet kind of, make the nerves bubble up a little bit.
Right. But that's also, to speak to that, I think we're so afraid of quiet.
Sure.
But it's maybe one of the best tools that we have.
Yeah.
Because that's the tension.
For sure.
Right? We need to keep building this tension, because then the joke releases it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that was another thing that I've learned through clowning and all this training that I've done, is not to be afraid if people are not laughing. Sometimes people are not laughing because they want to hear what you're saying, and they're processing it.
Right, right, yeah.
And it's a hard way to gauge how successful your work is based off the laughs.
Right.
Last night I saw ha 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 ha.
Get it right.
Yes,
Good. Okay.
there's 7 Ha's. Julia Mastley. It was at Pasadena Playhouse.
Okay.
Have you heard about this?
I have not, but tell me about it.
So it's a clown show, and the premise is, it's hard to describe, but she asks people their problems,
Okay.
and she hopes to fix them.
Mm-hmm.
And there was so much moment of just intense concentration.
From the
Audience.
audience? Yeah.
And it felt in the same way as like when everyone laughs together. We were all focused together.
Yeah.
And it was this beautiful thing of like, we were all taken on this journey.
Right.
And she used the silence so well and the tension, and wasn't on a journey to get laughs. The laughs came
Yeah.
because she was doing the work that she knows gets laughs, and she was committed to the bit. But it was such a beautiful experience of, yeah, the audience being on that ride together. And that's one of the beautiful things about live performances too.
Right.
It's, you feel something in the crowd that you don't watching it on TV
Right.
or on YouTube.
Or Apple Video or
Apple
Spotify.
Video, Spotify,
video.
Instagram.
So, David, Devudo, did you perform as a kid? Where did the performance kind of start?
So not technically like an on-stage performer. I mean like school projects.
Right.
Any opportunity I could do to make a sketch
Yeah.
or a song for a school project, I would do that. But I think that I learned how to perform as a child through playing sports.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think there is a connection of theater and sports that, I don't know, they seem so far apart, but it's like the horseshoe theory.
Right.
You know, those are two people on the different sides of the spectrum, but they are way closer than the people in the middle.
Yeah, I see it. I think like in high school, socially, sports and performance are very much divided. I mean,
Right.
on that social hierarchy. But yeah, it's it's
You're working with a group of
physical,
people
yeah.
to accomplish a common goal, and you have an audience,
right.
and it affects your play. You know, like you play different in practice than when in an
Right,
audience.
exactly.
And I think there's this idea I've heard that you get butterflies before performance, right? And you can either let those hurt you, or you can get your butterflies in formation, and it can help you.
Right.
And I think that was something I learned playing sports, was that energy of being in it, instead of letting it kind of paralyze me, it made me stronger.
Right.
And I think that gave me a lot of confidence, and confidence for me to be able to pursue this work.
Right. I've been doing something a little recently where I'm going into a more nervous character,
Mm-hmm.
so that it's kind of a way to combat the nerves. It's it's like use it,
Right,
but it's also like wildly authentic
right.
to like be up there in the vulnerability of like, I'm not stupendously comfortable, but I'm still here doing it. So I dig that a lot.
Yeah, but also, like, you're also not awkward. I mean, you're awkward. Sorry,
Right.
sorry. You're awkward, maybe not nervous.
Right. Yeah.
So
And especially since I got to LA, like in New York, I had like the shaky leg before my
Right.
set. Now here, I'm just like, no, I'm just doing it.
Right.
Just like up here.
because I don't really see those nerves. You know,
No.
I see someone with a lot of confidence, and you're just weird.
Do you see pride? Do you see power? Do you see a badass mofo that don't take no crap out of nobody?
Yes.
Cool runnings.
Is that Cool Runnings quote?
Fuck yeah, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah. What's the other one? Is feel the
Is
rhythm.
Jamaican bobsled thief.
Yeah. Feel the rhythm. Feel the ride. Get on board. It's bobsled time.
That's what's written in your notes.
Yep. So you performed as a kid in school assignments and stuff like
Right.
that. Do you remember the first time that you were funny on purpose?
I can't say the one time in particular, but really my original training in comedy came from Jewish holidays.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Of course.
You know, and I think that's when I first was aware that I was funny
Yeah.
and I was able to kind of hold court. And that's kind of like this, I don't know, that is a stomping ground for comedy and humor. So those were the moments that I knew that I had this weapon.
Yeah.
But I can't point to a certain moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember anything about your first open mic?
Yes, I remember it vividly. The bit I did, I was so nervous. And I wanted to, the bit I did was, this is my first time doing stand-up comedy, and I want to do another first. So I had never drank a Mountain Dew at that point. So it was just me drinking Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
I mean, that ends up being it's kind of a clowny bit.
Sure.
Now looking in retrospect.
Yeah, and definitely influence from your Jewish backgrounds. For sure.
Yes. Yes, at Passover, that's where just Mountain Dews. But yeah, I just like wrote a list of jokes about Mountain Dew, and I remember one of them was, do you remember the rumor that Mountain Dew killed sperm count?
Sure.
I think it was started by the people at Mellow Yellow. That was the only joke I remembered,
Yeah.
but I killed.
Nice.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Because you always hear about people not killing, and it did so well. And then the second time I came up, I had nothing.
Yeah.
I couldn't do the Mountain Dew bit again.
Right.
It wasn't my first time, and I died so hard.
Yeah.
And it was like a nice return to reality, and that rejection though affected me. And yeah, I think that I wish. I was a different person then, and
You wish it hadn't let you affect you.
yes,
I get that. And so I ask about kind of bombs and first bombs. Like everyone, you have to bomb. You know, part of it is like you have to bomb to learn how to not bomb, but part of
Right.
it is like you're just going to bomb. Like
Right.
you're gonna do too many shows to not have a bad show or
Right.
whatever. So I'm always curious kind of how people get back on stage, and it sounds like you were affected. So what was that process like of building up, whether it's the courage, the material, how long did it take, but what was that like?
yeah. So I think when I was in New York, I kind of futzed around. I wasn't consistent with it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it created doubt in myself,
Mhm.
and it created doubt in my material and who I was. And it wasn't until I felt comfortable in my own skin that I was able to overcome.
Getting
The
comfortable in
bomb?
your own skin, I mean, was that like a kind of social exercise, or was it like material? Like what was?
I think it was really just therapy
Okay.
and working on myself, like
Yeah.
completely separate from comedy.
Gotcha.
Like I wasn't able to become someone who can do that work until I did the work on myself first.
Yeah.
And the pandemic was a really important time for me to kind of stop and focus on myself. And it was completely separate to,
Yeah.
and it was good that I didn't connect it, because I didn't want my mental health to be connected to my work.
And you do see people using stage time as therapy,
Right.
for better or probably for worse,
Mhm.
right? But that's, I think there's a lot of different kinds of things that we need to kind of better ourselves before we can kind of, you know, whether it's a good relationship or,
Right.
or kind of this
Right.
creative career or whatever it is. It's,
Your work should never be your therapy.
yeah,
Like, we used to work together.
that's true.
Yeah, we used to work at Company Redacted.
Able Cinetech, camera sales, and he was a great associate. I was
Yeah.
a great purchasing rep, and yeah.
But we didn't go to work to do therapy there.
No.
We went to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
I eventually got laid off, and Isaac knew about it maybe like a month before it happened, didn't tell me.
Did I?
Something like that. But you couldn't have told me. Wait, can you imagine telling me that I was gonna get laid off? I'm just showing up. That would have been amazing.
I knew in my heart it was so good for you
Oh,
to
yeah,
get laid off from that job.
true.
Not that you weren't good at the job, it's the job wasn't good for you.
Yes, but I don't know if I was great at the job either.
It was an easy job.
Yes, it was an easy job, but I don't know. And I look back on that moment as, you know, it sucks being rejected or failure, but it's another rep, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with doing open mics. It's like the more reps of being comfortable with failure and accepting failure, and even be able to like joke about failure, like that. I think I was like I had a lot of shame about it
Yeah.
because I know I thought of myself as someone who was good at stuff, and even though it was downsizing the company, it wasn't necessarily performance related. It was impossible for me not to be like, is there something wrong with me?
Right.
Like, why me? Like, they did not like me.
Yeah.
But it had nothing to do with me.
So I went.
It had all to do with them running a business that wasn't profitable.
Yeah. It's the bottom line.
Yeah.
You were the bottom line. So I'm going through something like that. I was laid off, you know, this year, and I had a lot of that kind of doubt and kind of, oh, how am I going to ever manage an inbox again, or like whatever the symptom was, or whatever. But I'd been there for 6.5 years, and I know the good work I put in. I know the value I brought the company. I know the tools that I created that they're still using to this day.
Right.
And so I pretty quickly kind of got to where you got, which is like, this is a business decision. And by about a week, I was like, they're good businessmen.
Mm-hmm.
They needed to fire me, you know? So
Right.
it's but it's tough, and obviously it messes with confidence for sure.
Right.
And it's parallel to creativity, you know?
Right.
It's dealing with the rejection and like, how do you get back on stage? How do you go back and apply for kind of a higher end or kind of more complex job? And
one door closes, another opens.
yeah.
And for you, do you feel like that launched what you're doing now? Like, was that?
Yeah, in a sense. So when I first moved here in December of last year, and so I ended up losing my job in March. In between that time, I was not doing open mics, right? So I was working on film, which is kind of my other avenue, and kind of since getting laid off and kind of making the decision of like, you got to do something during the day, you know. So I feel productive on the days that I do write or go out and do a show or something like that, and that's enough to kind of make me feel like a valuable part of society. At some point, I'm gonna have to figure out how to pay my bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, none of us are making any money doing comedy.
I make a couple $100 when I'm producing shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you pay for your open mics?
Yeah.
So it's kind of,
yeah. I mean,
we're back down.
The money that we make for our shows is all put back into the next show.
Yeah.
Or it's paid our camera guy, our video, our photo, our tech. So we are bringing in money, but it's not profitable.
Is there incremental growth that you're seeing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah. But I mean, primarily, I have a very supportive partner.
Okay.
Who's able to allow me to take this journey and not focus on paychecks.
Right.
But focus on doing the work, and I think that she has a lot of faith in me, and also believes that if I build it, they will come.
Yeah.
So I feel I'm very fortunate, and I'm an outlier in a way.
Sure.
It's not, and I don't take it for granted, and I want people to like. I want to be able to share the resources that whatever I have at the moment with the people I am with.
Yeah.
Not saying that we're like, you know, Beverly Hillbillies, like living it up here, but like, it's just nice to have someone who believes in me.
Yeah.
And is able to carry the load for a certain period of time while I'm working my shit out.
We all could use someone like that. I will say I believe in you, just maybe not with my wallet, you know. I mean, I'll buy a ticket here and there. Aww.
I believe in you too.
Thank you. But you know, because it's interesting. I'll take this how you will.
Yep.
I don't really know anyone personally who's taken more classes in the kind of space than you. You know, and I'm curious, you know, you'd mentioned groundlings, UCB, the clowning stuff. Are there other classes you've done that have been very beneficial? Is there a class that kind of stands out as kind of the biggest influence or a teacher? And
Hmm.
kind of what is your advice to someone who's maybe thinking of taking some classes for the first time?
Yeah, I think for me, it was really important to have range. I never wanted to like put all my eggs in one basket.
Hmm.
I wanted to kind of explore and meet people, and that was kind of my calculation in taking classes. It's like it's an investment into myself.
Yeah.
It's an investment into my future and my community, and it might not have paid dividends yet, but I know it will.
Yeah.
Like I just know that that's the work. I have to work those muscles,
Yeah.
and I have to meet those people, and you can only get so far doing open mics because you don't have anyone there to tell you the truth.
Right.
I mean, you have friends or whatever, but it's so nice to have someone who's been there and who's done it and who can see what works and who doesn't work. And it's not a shortcut to getting better, but it's a highway.
Yeah.
You know, like that, it all flows through that.
Yeah.
And maybe so best class I took. It's hard to say. Everything has given me something different.
Maybe best piece of advice you've gotten in a class or from a teacher.
Yeah. That's where I can't point to one moment or one thing. It's a collective thing. It's like when you're going to the gym, you're not remembering that one set you did.
Right. Right.
You're remembering that whole process.
Yeah.
And I think also just mentally for me, it's like I need to invest in myself. And by investing in myself, I'm gonna work harder.
Yeah.
And it's also like me putting money where my mouth is, and like the money that I've saved up money for these types of things.
Right.
And it's the best for me. It's been money well spent.
Mm-hmm.
But for others, I don't know. It's sometimes you have to take a bunch of classes to find where is the right place for you.
Sure.
And luckily, I've had a lot of privilege to be able to do that, and it's not something available to everyone. But thankfully, there's a lot of great resources. All these schools have scholarships.
Great.
They all are trying to prioritize diversity in a way that in New York, when I took classes, they didn't care.
While they still can.
While they still can. Yeah. And because the classes are also not good if it's a bunch of white privileged kids.
Yeah.
So the schools are aware of that and they're doing their best. And there's certain scholarships where people can go completely for free. So while there are barriers to entry, there's also opportunities to level the playing field.
Right.
And I do not think the playing field is leveled at all.
Right.
I think that I have such an advantage considering I have a partner who's able to support us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also something like an advantage I can't squander.
Right.
And I think that's something that's also very important to me.
Sure.
Sorry, I just love that you have the notebook. It's very open mic of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
Dave, do you have any like really cool open mic stories?
One of my the most excited I've been at an open mic is I was doing one at the Lyric Hyperion, and I went kind of with nothing.
Yeah.
I just kind of I didn't have any idea of exactly what I wanted to do. I just kind of went on stage and I clowned around, and I know this person in the audience was like really engaged and was having fun. And then it wasn't until I got off stage that I realized it was Maria Bamford.
Nice.
Who is my one of my comedy idols.
Yeah.
And I got to see her then go up like 2 people after me.
Yes.
And it was just surreal to see. It was like, going into a gym and you're seeing Jordan shoot around.
Right.
that gave me so much drive and like energy of like that the work, you always got to put in the work. You can be, I think that she is one of the best, if not like the best stand-up ever.
Between you, me, and Mark Maron, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to see her, yeah, it was cool.
And now she got the same amount of time as everyone else.
Right.
Yeah, I love that.
Right.
Yeah. It's cool because it's as much like, advantages as some people get or like gatekeeping that may or may not exist. It's kind of a pure meritocracy. Like you can kind of get up a little bit above your level, but if you don't have the material and you're not doing the work, you're going to fall back down pretty quickly.
Right.
And so, I think that's kind of one of my driving forces is to like, I know I have the opportunity to keep elevating myself, so might as well try.
Right.
Something like that. Yeah.
Because the cream will rise to the top.
Yeah.
I think there's different starting points for people.
Right.
If you have a famous parent, you're starting somewhere like different than someone who doesn't. Mm-hmm. But you're not going to rise unless you got it.
Right.
The audience decides.
Yeah.
And if you're worried about all these like unknown forces, again, that's paralyzing. You can't control that. Right. I feel like I just focus on trying to control my ability and my craft and putting the work in. It's putting the work in.
Yeah. Have you experienced gatekeeping at all?
Yeah. So again, it's weird being like a white cis male. Yeah. Because I have as many open doors, with privilege, I have as many open doors as it gets. Mm-hmm. And I have experienced people withholding or gatekeeping, but I can't say that it's something that has hurt me in a level that it affects other people.
Right.
So it's kind of hard for me to be like, oh, they're not letting me on stage or... Well, even if they don't, I can justify it.
Sure. Well, I mean, just between you and me, I mean, ladies' mics, that's a version. I absolutely respect them, and I think that having a safe space and all that stuff is important. But like, there's mics where we're not welcome. We're not allowed to go up.
Well, that's fine. I mean, there's been so many times that they're not welcome at certain places. Yeah. And I'm glad that they have their own places now. Same. Yeah. And a place for them to build their community. And men could be very threatening, especially in comedy.
Right. Yeah.
There's just like a lot of weird dude energy. And it could be, I imagine it's a lot harder to find yourself when you're getting that thrown at you. Yeah. But to be in that friendly crowd you can build those muscles to then step out of it.
Right. Is there like a craziest open mic, whether it was the location or a theme or something like that? Have you done anything kind of off the beaten path in that way?
No. So maybe a non-traditional open mic that I go to is Play Space. Mm-hmm. So it's every Wednesday at the Elysian. Okay. From 5 to 7, and it's a clown mic. Yeah. But a lot of it's focused on working together. So people will maybe have 2 or 3 minutes if they want to do a bit, but they'll have workshops. Mm-hmm. They'll have group play. Yeah. They'll just like invite opportunities for everyone to get on stage and play together. Yeah. And it is an amazing place to find community, also to take the weight off of performing. Yeah. To see a bunch of adults acting like children. Right. And just like playing games.
Is there any prerequisite for that?
No.
No, so it just kind of, okay.
You don't have to have, like, it's clown, but you don't have to know anything about it. Yeah. You just go, and that's a great thing about the clown community too, is it's so open and accepting, and it's a lot of the people who are not the rejects of society. Yeah. And we have all kind of found each other. Yesterday when we went to that Julia Massley show, I went with a clown, and we saw a bunch of our clown friends, and we had this beautiful, like, we were crying and because the show was amazing, and we had this group hug, and I don't know, it felt like all these weirdos kind of found each other, and I don't love the term neurodivergent, but it's like kind of like that. It's like a group of people who have diverged and haven't been accepted fully anywhere else except for here.
It takes a type to step up to the mic the first time, for sure. And neurodivergence or just whatever it is. I
Right.
mean, we're a breed,
Right.
and you know, finding like-minded individuals, it's priceless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the light.
I get it.
Do you respect the lights?
Yes,
Yeah.
but I don't. I get off pretty quick after the light. I don't love the people who see the light and they're like, okay, yeah. Let me see.
Yeah.
I'll try to get out there as quick as possible.
Yeah. One more bit. How much time do I have?
Right.
20 seconds?
Right.
Here's my 45-second bit.
Right.
Well, I would love to thank our guest this week, Dave Stoles, for coming on, stepping up to the mic, and to everyone out there chasing stage time, good luck. Thank you for listening. I have been Isaac, and we will see you next week with more stories from the scene.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, anytime.
We hug.
We hug.
It was great. Yeah, thank you.